What's up, everybody? It's TAE Media here again with a real quick kind of prediction on the new Dragon Ball Super Broly movie. Uh, I kind of want to just throw some thoughts out there real quick about why this will be the best Dragon Ball movie of all time, right? And to expand more on that, we're trying to do it real quickly. I mean, there's a lot of reasons you can even try to go into depth with the thought process I have here, but Dragon Ball Super Broly looks, first of all, it looks like the best movie they've ever done. The animation is amazing. The artwork looks incredible. I mean, and this looks like this looks leagues above Resurrection F and Battle of Gods, in my opinion. I know a lot of people had a problem with both the other films, animation and artwork, and where it landed compared to the older movies from the '90s and 2000s and all that. I don't have that big of a gripe because they were still well done. They still looked good. Did I prefer the older styles? Yes, but this looks like that. Not only does it look like that, it feels, it looks like, it looks like something from 2018, and it feels so genuine with the look, like the way it's being made so far as a Dragon Ball movie. It doesn't feel like that, they're money grubbing or anything like that. A lot of people had that complaint with Resurrection F, like, oh, we're just beating dead horses now. Frieza's back to life. Like, I mean, yeah, that storyline felt like didn't really do anything until later on in the series they resurrect him again, and that feels like something. But this feels like bringing Broly back, rebooting Broly feels like just a nod to the fans that made Broly such a popular character. He's popular by demand. He's popular because people, just found him awesome. And a lot of people, that have the complaints of, oh, Broly's not an interesting character and all that. Yeah, obviously his backstory kind of sucked, and his motivations were god awful. But his that's not the entire Dragon Ball cast. Besides Vegeta and Piccolo, and I mean, sometimes they give Goku, Krillin, all them good stuff, but look at Goku. He's the lead character, and all he wants to do is fight. There's no reason behind why he gets into most of his, majority of his battles beyond that. Usually they go from there and throw story in. I mean, that's just the Dragon Ball way. But the best thing about Dragon Ball is the combat. The fights, the amazement that you see when you're watching this series, and it's something that just inspired a league of other art styles, anime. You know what I'm trying to say. Like, it's done so much for the anime genre, and it's done so much because of what it is. So the fact that people complain that Broly is coming back is really it doesn't make a lot of sense. It doesn't feel like just because we're not bringing him back to life like it was with Frieza either. We're rebooting him. It is a you know what I mean by we're. They are rebooting Broly. Broly is he's been given this new backstory, so not only can we be sucked into how awesome the character originally was, plus this little new update with him, but we're getting a whole new Dragon Ball story, in the form of the origin of the Saiyans. They're mixing all this stuff into this one film, and it looks the best. We're getting a lot. One thing I really like about this movie that I think they really did good in the Tournament of Power is that we're finally getting Goku and Vegeta fighting from the ground up, from base to Super Saiyan, to Super Saiyan 2, to God form, to Blue, to Royal Blue or Ultra Instinct or whatever it's going to be. We're finally doing that. That's something that I've just hated that Dragon Ball hasn't done, until the Tournament of Power and all that. I'm glad it doesn't now. Goku jumps from either to Super Saiyan 2 and I know it's because he has convenient and more it's a more strategic way to be in a battle form, but it's more fun to watch him just go up and up and up. And I think they're gonna do that in this movie, especially with showing Vegeta as a Super Saiyan God for the first time, which is amazing. Like I said, I don't know how many times I can say it looks the best, but we're also getting this big fight feel that I don't believe Dragon Ball's had, maybe since the 90s, but even then, the mainstream appeal of Dragon Ball now is so much more, I would say, just because of internet culture and, we're in the social media age and we're in the digital everything. So this, it's being promoted all over the world. Dragon Ball Super Broly feels like a theatrical, blockbuster that's coming out. I mean, the internet exploded off of Comic-Con alone, and dare I say, out of everything I was paying attention to, Dragon Ball, the movie was the biggest thing to come out of Comic-Con, in my opinion. I know there's probably like tons of other stuff out there. Maybe people find bigger, but I didn't. I like a lot of shit at Comic-Con, and I watch for a lot of stuff in regards to, all the spoilers and stuff, TV shows on TV shows, films on films. The biggest coverage I seen that week was for, Dragon Ball Super Broly, and I'm not exaggerating. This feels like it's going to be a worldwide movie release, which is something I've never seen Dragon Ball do before, Resurrection F obviously was like a big thing as well, and Battle of Gods certainly kind of was. Battle of Gods was a humongous thing in Japan, right? And so was Resurrection F. But in the U.S., we only got the limited time theater stuff. Now, it feels like it's obviously coming out a month after Japan, but now it feels like it's like everybody knows about it. Everybody wants to see it. Everybody's gonna do whatever they can to watch the film, and it sounds like a mainstream film to me, and that's what this release is going to feel like. I can't even put it into words because it's really so exciting just thinking about it, and it's going to be the best film in my opinion because for the fan interaction it's already giving, the popular by the man, villain that they've brought back and rebooted and made better. I don't care what anybody says. Broly's going to be better than what he was in the original movie. Watching Broly destroy everyone was fun, and he's probably not going to destroy the whole of the Z fighters and Earth and the Frieza Force and the universes. Probably not. But he's going to fight Goku and Vegeta, and that's what we all want to see. He's going to bring this new era in the Dragon Ball that I don't think it had until really this year, and that's like I keep saying, this worldwide connection between all the countries. The whole world really feels like it's gathered around. It really happened more so during the Tournament of Power arc, I think, is when I just you start seeing videos on the internet of like people in town squares watching on projectors. Stuff like that was happening in the U.S. too. It was happening everywhere, and the fact that this stuff is happening is telling me that Dragon Ball is probably more popular than it might have ever been. And obviously with nostalgia and stuff coming into play, Dragon Ball Z was like the biggest thing you ever saw, right? But again, we were kids. This is adults, kids, everybody being into this anime. This thing that it's a sequel series to probably the most popular anime of all time, and you're really seeing this. You're seeing this gathering, for Dragon Ball that you've never seen before, and this movie I think is the pinnacle of what we've been building to with that. With Super. Bringing up this whole, from Super being insanely doubted and hated on when it was going through its first two arcs with the movie arcs, and slowly building its audience back with the Universe 6 arc, and then really building its audience back with the Goku Black arc, and then building an entirely new fan base, entirely new generations, and a real, like, just a popularity jump with the tournament, with the long, it was like the Namek arc almost all over again with the Tournament of Power. The long, drawn out fights after fights arc that really made us, all come together as Dragon Ball fans again. And that is all built to this. And the Dragon Ball Super Broly movie is not the end, but it is the finale almost. It is the big gun-ho point where we are going to see something that we all remember forever. And I think this movie is going to do a lot more than what people are thinking it's going to do. And what I mean by that is people are expecting us to just be like, another anime release that, after a couple years people go back and watch, but no one really talks about, doing anything, right? I think this is going to do something. I don't know really what I'm trying to say completely, but it's going to break records, in my opinion, for something or the other. It's going to be bigger than any anime movie release I think we'll ever see. Going back to Akira and all that, I don't know if it's going to be the best anime film of all time. I think it's going to be the best Dragon Ball film of all time, and I think it's going to be the biggest Dragon Ball film, maybe the biggest Dragon Ball event of all time. And I say that with 100% confidence that even if something goes horribly wrong in the movie, I think the event itself will still be something people have never seen in the Dragon Ball community, fans, everything. I think that's what it's going to be. There's, like I said, I'm trying to keep it short. There's a bunch of other reasons that you could say this is going to be the best film of all time, going, down to characters, to not just the art style, but the use of the side characters that it looks like it's going to have in the movie, the ultimate, what this means for the Saiyan story, what this means for future movies, what this means for the past movies, what this means for Dragon Ball Super itself, what this means for the entire brand, and what it means for the future of anime in, theaters and all that. But I can't really, I'm not the guy that's going to tell you, all that in explicit detail, because I'm not an expert at that. I feel like all those, I have reasons for all that, but I can't put them into precise words, at least not yet. If I can, obviously I'll bring another video. But besides that, I just wanted to get those thoughts off my chest, because this is probably the most exciting thing I have looking forward to in 2019 right now. Just because, I've been a lifelong Dragon Ball fan, and I've thought, like everybody else, 10 years ago, that this series was never going to be what it was when I was, a young kid. And now that, I'm an adult, and it's the, well, you could say I'm an adult, but now that this is the biggest, I wouldn't say this is the biggest anime in the world, but now that this is back to where the heights that it once was, and it's even at a wider audience than ever, just gives me the satisfaction that you had faith in something, and it played out so great for, everybody that ever believed that Dragon Ball was, if they brought it back, if it was in today's time, like it was in your time, it would still be as big as it was, and it is. That's basically what I'm trying to say, and that itself is a achievement, and that itself is going to implicate all you need to see regarding all this, Dragon Ball Super Broly buzz. And the fact that there's just so many components. Broly himself is a giant popular thing, like I've said, is just that being mixed in with this being the first Dragon Ball Super movie, with this being, what they took a break from the anime to do, this being the origin of the Saiyans, this being a whole new stepping stone in the mythology of Dragon Ball. It is a giant, it is a giant move, and it is just going to succeed. I can't see how it doesn't, no matter what. I have so much faith. Uh, I'm kind of just rambled this whole video, but I had to get this off my chest about Dragon Ball Super, Broly. I just, for anybody that sees this video and wants to watch this channel for Dragon Ball content, I'm no, expert, or I can't bring you all the Japanese and America's inside information regarding Dragon Ball, but I can give you my thoughts, and I can give you, the feeling that there is someone else like you, like me, that feel that Dragon Ball is bigger than it ever was, and it's going to just get bigger from here. And what a time to be a fan of Dragon Ball. Whether it's Super, whether it's Z, whether it's the OG, whether it's freaking GT, what a time to be a fan. This is TAA Media. This isn't actually news, but I hope I have some kind of news someday about Dragon Ball. Like I said, this isn't my area of expertise. I don't know people in these fields. This channel is going to be more towards the teen dramas and other network television shows in America. But I will always give my thoughts on the Dragon Ball, predicament, situation, like I'm doing now. But moving on, until the next piece of, the next development, the next news, or, even until the film comes itself in January, or, December, because I'm probably going to watch it in sub. I want to watch it in English the first time, I do, but I've already watched the sub for, all of Super, and I'm probably not going to be able to hold off. This is TAA Media, Dragon Ball Super, Broly. Do not miss it. See it as fast as possible, to be honest. And I'll be back. Peace.